Welcome back to Morning Live. Anyone who runs their own business knows how valuable every transaction and customer interaction is, and especially during this time of American tariffs and economic uncertainty, business also understand the power of marketing and advertising. Baehr from ThinkTV is here this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Rick.
Tell us about advertising a product and or business. It seems to be more important than ever these days.
Well, I would argue it's always important, but of course it's getting a lot of headlines right now as people reconsider their budgets. People are looking at tariffs, potential supply chain problems, even a potential war. These are things that are keeping companies up at night. And when they think about advertising, they often think that's somewhere where that's something that I can cut to preserve profits.
Right.
But we would argue that that's absolutely not the thing to do right now, because advertising is an investment. It's not a cost, it's an investment in future demand.
Does advertising really influence how consumer shops for things?
It absolutely does, and there has been countless research and different media marketing models that have come up with different numbers, and they kind of vary depending on the industry, but you're looking at between $3 and $6 of ROI, so a return on investment. Wow. So for every dollar you spend in advertising, you're likely to get between $3 and $6 back in sales. But that varies a lot, and it varies by medium. So television advertising, for example, gets a much higher return on investment than, say, a digital display ad or social media. So that's where you get that kind of broad spectrum of returns.
Right. And why is that? Is that the TV, you have that visual, you have that connection? More so than anything else?
Well, TV's superpowers are its impact.
We're biased here.
Yeah. TV's superpowers are its reach, impact, efficiency, and trust.
Right.
And all of those are really critically important. I mean, one of the biggest things is attention. You pay more attention to TV ads than you do anything else. The sound is always on. You're not scrolling.
Right.
You're getting, it's not skippable. So you're getting that full sound and visual experience, and so the impact is just tremendous.
How important is it to sustain brand presence through advertising?
It's really important, and again, there's been countless studies that have shown what happens when you pull back on advertising. And again, in times of the 80 recession, the 91, 92 recession, there were lots of companies that pulled back their spend and lots of companies that either maintained or sustained their spend.
Right.
And across every example, and again, there are case studies over 100 years, the companies that invested in their share of voice and their advertising, they did much better both through the hard times and then out of it. It's much harder to regain traction once you've kind of gone quiet for a while.
So when you do go dark, there's a big impact there.
There's a huge impact, and so research shows that on average you're going to lose around 16% of sales after a year if you go dark. Wow. And up to 58% after 5 years. So while you might not see a drop immediately, you're going to have the advantage of the halo effect of any past advertising activities, but it will start to go down. And then it's kind of hard to make up for lost time. If you go too dark, other people have taken your spot in their mental availability.
Yeah. It's almost like the stock market and buying low and selling high. When things are not going well, you should still, spread your message. Like your business and its vitality is really dependent on that.
Well, I'm not going to give any stock advice here, but I like the analogy.
Okay. Just back to TV and why it's such an effective advertising tool.
Well, I'll just say a bit more about the four kind of superpowers. So TV's reach exceeds any other media. It's vast and it's fast. You can't reach Canadians faster, more Canadians faster than you can on TV. The impact, I mentioned attention. Efficiency, so the return on investment, again, is so high. So it not only works well on its own in the short term, especially in the long term, and it plays well with others. So TV can actually increase your digital campaign by 19%. So what I mean by that is if you include TV in a campaign that also has digital advertising, your digital advertising is going to work 19% faster.
Yeah, that's
and
amazing.
Just on trust really quickly.
Really quick.
TV is the most trusted medium, but it's also a brand safe environment. So if you're a brand and you care what the context is, nothing beats TV.
TV is portable as well, chch.com. You can go on the website, Parrot TV, watch us on YouTube. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Ring.
And you can find more links on our website, chch.com/morninglive.